Okay, we'll continue our discussion of the second canto, chapter 7, chapter title Scheduled Incarnations with Specific Functions. So, until now, we were discussing various aspects, how like a Brahmaji was giving this knowledge to Narad Muni about the Purusha aspects of the Lord, how Purusha Lord will create and maintain everything like that. Purusha aspect means the Palan, means the maintenance aspect. When Lord takes up the maintenance, Lord is in charge of mode of Sattvagun, and he is maintaining everything. He is both spiritual and material worlds. In fact, the demigods like no Brahma is the in charge for creation, and Vishnu is in charge for maintenance, and uh, Shiva is in charge for destruction. So as we know, mm, Vishnu is Vishnu Tattva, means he is divine nature. But Brahmaji is Jiva Tattva and Shiva is Shambhu Tattva. So, like it is said that in some times when in some universes, if there is no qualified person to do for the post of Brahma, then Lord himself expands himself as Brahma, and even he'll only take care of creation aspect as well. So, and Shambhu is also already we know that Shambhu is the same Lord, same uh, Vishnu Tattva, but when it comes in contact with matter or material world, it becomes Shambhu Tattva. So that's why these are the three differences between what is Jiva Tattva, what is Vishnu Tattva, and what is Shambhu Tattva. So now uh, Vishnu Tattva deals with maintenance aspect, means Palan, means taking care of the protection or subsistence or maintenance of everything in the middle world. How each and every living entity is nicely provided food or something like that. Mm. This aspect is taken care. Just like how what is the role of government? Government should take care of social security and safety and nourishment of the society in general, so that people in general can lead a peaceful life and aim at the higher destination, means perfect their uh, life by achieving self realization. They gradually proceed towards the ultimate success. So that is the purpose, that should be the motto with which the government should go on. It's not like government should not only take care of sense enjoyment, or government should not only engage in collecting taxes and treating the praja like slaves. Government should should encourage, should actually educate, should see this aspect is happening. The jivas who takes birth in this material world, it is also said that there are responsibilities of a mother, father, there are responsibilities of a friend, there is responsibility of a guru, um, to see their followers are will be able to achieve liberation, will be able to get out of this material existence at the end of their life. Otherwise, it is said that, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, they are not qualified to be in that post. Mm. So, in the same way, when king also, when doing mm, his duty is to provide all the peace and nice environment, create a nice situation where the praja will be peacefully do the action activity related to dharma, artha, kama, and finally to attain moksha. This progression should be nicely taken care. That's why kings they will see that people are not misdirected, people are not cheated by the fake gurus, and people are not bothered by the thieves and rogues like that. So in the same way, Lord himself creates this entire material creation in order to facilitate the rebellious souls, mm, so that they can enjoy freely in event of the Lord, and then finally go back to God at the end of lifetime. So Vishnu takes this uh, burden of like creating, maintaining, and like that. So now until now Brahmaji described the Purusha avatars of the Lord. Now here he further in this chapter he explains about different other incarnations. So Shukadeva Goswami narrates the conversation between Brahmaji and Narada. Okay, Shukadeva Goswami in previously described about Purusha avatars of the Lord. Now he will continue to describe the various guna avatars, Leela avatars, Manvanta avatars, Shakti avatars, and different vibhutis of the Lord. So basically, uh, if there are two types of incarnations, Prabhava Prakasha incarnations and Vaibhava Prakasha incarnations. Now, like in the case of Rasalila, when gopis are dancing, Krishna has expanded into the number of he expanded himself to dance with each and every gopi individually. It is said that there are millions of gopis, and Krishna expanded into millions of forms. So in those forms, they have same emotions and same physical form and uh, everything is same. Means Krishna is same in every who is dancing with every gopi. And also if you see in Dwaraka, 16,108 wives Krishna has had, and Krishna expands himself into 16,108 times, so that he can give time to each and every wife, each and every family. So that is the potency of Krishna, and each expansion is itself is like each expansion is perfect, is in shape, same quality, and same power. Everything is same. So that is Prabhava Prakasha expansions. So now Vaibhava Prakasha expansions are like they have different forms. Uh, they he those are Krishna's expansion for different times and for different physical form and with different emotions. Hmm? How it is like like sometimes like a person is their employee, like for example take a police officer. Hmm? Police officer when he's at home, he actually he will be very pleasing and he'll be very nice to his family members. He's very gentle, even if if wife of a police officer can even quarrel with police officer, even chastise police officer, and children of police officer can even climb on him, or or engage ask a police officer some favors, like do this for us, can you give money, like that. So that is that police officer has different relationship with the family members. But if the same police officer he goes to in the society where the lot of crime is there, and his emotions will change, his the way his dealings will change, uh, because he has to do that, because certain situations demand certain uh, emotion, certain kind of strictness, certain kind of uh, personality. So the even the same person, but the personality of the person is way different from what he is at home. So in the same way, Lord Krishna, when he is dealing with his devotees, is in some way. But when it comes to maintenance involves a lot of no. So he has to take care of the persons who are nicely following dharma, and he has to punish those who are actually causing trouble, and he has to sometimes kill those who are actually demoniac and who is actually uh, killing others. So that's why this Vaibhava Prakasha in expansions, different expansions of Krishna, they actually differ with respect to how they what the situation demands. So, we mainly discussing about few avatars of the Lord, but Prabhupada says that Krishna has unlimited expansions. So the number of bubbles in Atlantic Ocean, that number of incarnations means there is no limit to because this universe is has unlimited cycles. Yes, it is created, it is destroyed, it is again created, it is again destroyed. And also there is this universe is only 1 by 4th of the entire creation, and 3 by 4th is spiritual world. And Krishna, like in order to reciprocate with differently with different devotees, he explains different in incarnations. So those are all no, that is the potency of Krishna, and that is the personal reciprocation of Krishna with the it is devotees. And also it is it's how Krishna takes care of maintenance aspect. This taking care of the city, the people in general, or all the entire worlds by his personal expansions. So in this chapter we will be dealing with all those expansions. Okay. So 1 minute. So in this chapter we will be discussing about various incarnation of Krishna, and how uh, it is now after that it is the conversation between Brahmaji and Narada. And Brahmaji, after explaining after the different types of incarnations, then Brahmaji says how it is very difficult to understand the glories of the Lord. and then he established also the this the different expansions of the absolute truth, means the different ways in which Krishna expands. Krishna expands as Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman. That also he gives, and then finally he gives a summary. Uh, what is the importance of knowing these Purusha incarnations of the Lord, or the different expansions of the Lord. So from verse number one, he explains about the Varaha incarnation of the Lord. So this Varaha incarnation, he actually in the we all know, like these incarnations, like when the creation was happening, one demon, he actually threw the earth out of its orbit. And means like it is said that even the modern scientists also says that earth was in abyss, means earth was very cold when at certain point of time. And after some time earth regained the temperature and regained normalcy. So that our sages has described how that was act of a demon, Hiranyaksha, who actually took the earth and submerged in the ocean. And Lord appeared as Varaha to lift the earth from this situation and place it perfectly in its orbit. And then he also killed the demon Hiranyaksha with his tusk. So, and then we just briefly discuss here, and later on we'll get in detail with in the later chapters. Okay. And the next incarnation Brahmaji describes is Suyagnya, because he's begotten by demigods headed by Suyama in the womb of Dakshina. So as Indra, he diminished the misers of the three worlds. No? This Suyagna, he took the position of the Indra, and he actually maintained that time. Okay, and he was called Hari by Swayambhu Manu. And in the next incarnation, Lord appeared as Kapila, the son of Devahuti. So Prabhupada writes there are two types of Kapilas. No? Like Kapila is actually son of Karda Muni and Devahuti. So basically the second impersonal, the second another Kapila is he is an impersonalist. He doesn't speak about the Bhakti philosophy, but he's Kapila Yoga. He said this what do you call? Um, Yeah, he gave some philosophy, and Prabhupada said that that is not a bona fide philosophy. That's why the what is the difference between that Kapila and this Kapila only is mother name. So that's why Prabhupada translates Kapila, the son of Devahuti, is the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Dattatreya, we'll see in future incarnation, he is the expansion of three Murtis, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara coming in one form. And verse number 5 describes about four Kumaras, how in the beginning of creation, Lord Brahmaji has created the four Kumaras. And then the Naranarayan Rishi. Naranarayan Rishi, we also will get in how, for the sake of, for the welfare of entire material world, the Lord himself expanded himself as Naranarayan and performed tapasya so that everybody will get benefited. And showed by his example. And then Prashnikarpa. Prashnikarpa was awarded Dhruvaloka to Prince Dhruva. He is the expansion of Narayan. And Prutu's this story also will come. How Prutu Maharaj delivered was has appeared from the body of King Vena and has re-established Dharma by uh, taking necessary measures. Okay, that will also in future chapters we'll get. Okay, and Rishabhadev, the son of Sudevi and Nabhi. No, we these the teachings of Rishabhadev are very famous, and Rishabhadev's son is Bharat Maharaj, uh, and those pastimes also will get in future. And Hayagriva, so Hayagriva has he is a personified sacrifices, Vedas and super soul of all the demigods. So all the sweet sound of Vedic hymns came from his breathing. I'm not sure, like we'll be discussing with this, but it is one of the major incarnation of the Lord. And Matsya incarnation. So in the Matsya incarnation, so will come at the end of Vaivashata Manvantara to shelter all the living entities. So it is said that Vedas came out of the Brahma's mouth when he was fearful of the water of annihilation of the Lord and enjoying the water, enjoying those waters, protected the Vedas. We'll get this Kurma incarnation also. We'll get how Kurma has now in the Kshira Sagar Manthan. Kurma has incarnated. Kurma helped the Mandara mountain. He gave the support to Mandara mountain so that mountain won't get drowned in the ocean. And we know about the Narsingadev pastime. Narsingadeva, he actually, in order to kill Hiranyakashipu hmm, and protect his devotee Prahlad Maharaj, he appeared and then he uh, established Prahlad Maharaj as the king by killing Hiranyakashipu, who was the foremost demon of all the time. And Lord himself, as it is, he appeared as in certain pastimes, in Gajendra Moksha, when Gajendra prayed for the Lord. Lord did not conceive any further form. He actually came by himself, the way he is, in order to, in a hurry, in order to give protection to Gajendra. So that's why this when the Lord comes, even in the Pruthumara's pastime also, Lord comes in the form of hurry. mm. So these incarnations, uh, this the name of this incarnation is called Hari itself. Okay, and then Vaman Dev came to in order to know to get back the heavenly planets which are occupied by the demons. So in order to get them back, Lord has incarnated as a brahmachari or a Vaman Dev, and then he performed the pastime and he dethroned Bali Maharaj and then established King Indra back in his heavenly kingdom. And Lord also comes as Dhanvantari in the case of Samudra Manthan. in order to give this Amrut to all the demigods. Uh, so and Lord comes as Parshuram when um, all the Kshatriyas who are supposed to be protecting or who should be overseeing uh, the dharmacharan in this material world. But if those people only are the cause of adharma, then Lord incarnate at that point of time, Lord incarnated as Parshuram and punished all the Kshatriyas. And the Lord came as Ramachandra in Ikshvaku dynasty, went to the forest on his father's name. Now we all know the Rama and Leela. So we'll be nicely discussing Rama and Leela in the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then comes the Krishna Leela. Krishna's appearance and his superhuman activities are in detail discussed in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and how his beautiful form and his Leelas. Krishna Leela has special significance among all the expansions of the Lord. Mm. So now here Brahmaji briefly describes about this. Now one may question, like now you Brahmaji is giving this knowledge to Narada in the beginning of creation, but when Krishna appeared in this planet and when Krishna killed Agasur, Brahmaji gets a doubt: is he really the same supreme personality of Godhead whom I worship? So he tests him. So how it happens is because due to the Yogamaya aspect of the Lord. Mm. So by his by its Lord's mercy, devotee can now for the sake of pastime, devotees are kept in ignorance. Means it is uh, like for the sake of Lord's pastime. Mm. Uh, there are many devotees like in the same in lifetime they actually glorifies the Lord in at one point of time. Again, they actually um, acts or no seemingly acts against the Lord. Means just like in the case of Indra also. Indra, when he was when Devaki was there, when Devaki was Lord was in the womb of Mother Devaki, Indra comes and offers prayers also. And when Lord performs this Vrindavan pastime, Indra acts against him. In the case of Govardhanila, Indra is the one who actually he is the villain of Govardhanila. Means he actually sends for the rain and wants to destroy entire Vrindavan. And again, uh, at that point of time, Krishna teaches Indra lesson. Okay, know your position and know my position. No, how you should not remember. You should always remember Krishna. And Indra learns that. And again, when Krishna asked for Parijata Ruksha, after when Satyabhama asks Parijata tree from heavenly planet, and Krishna says, Indra, can you send this Parijata tree? And Indra outright refuses. No, I cannot send you. How can I send my Parijata tree, which is the pride of entire heavenly planet, into the earthly planet? Because that is the Leela of the Lord. Because only by the mercy of Yogamaya, one can remember Krishna. But for the sake of Leela, the pastime, still the devotees are uh, kept under the illusion and they seemingly forget the glorious position of the Lord. And Krishna actually again reminds them through his pastimes. So we see this kind of things happening, and Krishna's pastimes are so sweet and so nice that it will give protection to all the devotees. No? These Krishna's pastimes are very convenient for smaran, means like how you can remember the Lord by remembering his sweet pastimes. That is the ultimate mercy of the Krishna upon all the living entities. And then Lord comes as Vyasadeva. Vyasa, when he comes as Vyasadeva, like he divides one Veda, which was there was only one Veda in the beginning, how which was passed in the Guru Parampara from Guru to disciple from Satyayuga. But when it comes to the beginning of Kali Yuga, Lord himself comes as Vyasadeva and expands one Veda into four Vedas, and then gives different Puranas and Itihasas, and establishes the importance of bhakti, like that. And then Lord comes as Buddha, bewildered by the minds of atheists. No? So this Buddha and this Buddha, Gautam Buddha are different. Gautam Buddha is the who appeared, no, like in 1500 or something like that. That time, that Buddha is different from actual Buddha that is spoken in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Buddha who is the who is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam is the one who actually uh, came to bewilder the atheist. Means that sometimes one time demons they actually um, overcome the demigods, and they are performing so-called religious activities. So that no, in order to establish the demigods again, Lord came as Buddha and bewilders the minds of the demons, and they and again establishes the devatas. Mm. And in the next incarnation after Buddha, Lord comes as Kalki. Mm. So here, after Buddha comes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the hidden incarnation of Krishna, which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam in a indirect manner. Like we'll get that in 11th canto. So, but actually, as we said, there are innumerable explanations of the Lord. There is no hard and fast thing like no. Okay, you mentioned no. We are discussing here 39 incarnations. So how can you say add one more incarnation in the middle? So these are very prominent incarnations. Means Lord may come as per the time demands. So just like if king is the owner of a jail, uh, and as per the law, as per the code, king has to visit once a year uh, to the jail. But if king desires, he can go to jail without any restrictions at any number of times. There are no hard and fast rules for the king. In the same way, this material world is compared to the jail, and Krishna can appear come into this material world whenever the situation demands. But as per the scriptures, he will incarnate in different times. Uh, so that's why Prabhupada also mentions, right. The, any person can claim that he is the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when somebody says that he is the incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, first we have to check with three things. First we have to see if this incarnation is mentioned in any of the scriptures. If this incarnation is mentioned in any of the scriptures, then we have to see if he is the same incarnation. Is he correctly uh, satisfying all the conditions that are mentioned in the scriptures? So, and as we said, there is no limitation for the expansion of the Lord. So Lord can come without, even if it is not mentioned in the scripture also. So scriptures are something which are coming from the Guru Parampara, which are coming from the sages who out of mercy for on the mankind, they recorded everything in script. So and these scriptures cannot limit Krishna. Hmm. Scriptures can describe the glories of Krishna, but scriptures cannot limit Krishna. Okay, this Leela of Krishna is not mentioned in the scriptures. That's why it doesn't exist. It's not like that. Scriptures only can give the very 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 important aspects of Krishna's expansions or Krishna's pastimes. Krishna's pastimes are unlimited, and Krishna's expansions are also unlimited. So it is not possible for anybody to record everything. That we will also see at the end of this chapter. And then Krishna, then next incarnation is Kalki incarnation, where at the end of Kali Yuga, Lord comes as Kalki and then destroys everybody, all the atheistic persons, and then re-establishes the Dharma in this material world. And then there are different Gunavataras. Gunavataras means different, just like representative kind of things, not like at creation. mm, Brahma, Prajapatis, great sages who generate, and During maintenance, Lord Vishnu and the demigods, and during annihilation, Lord Shiva and atheistic uh, and other and the atheist full of anger, etc. Those are the different expansions of the guna avtaras. Means guna means the modes of nature. For creation, you need mode of passion. For maintenance, you need mode of goodness, and for destruction, you need mode of ignorance. So these are the guna incarnations of the Lord. So uh, Krishna comes during those pastimes based on the situation, what is to be done at that point of time. So after explaining all these things, Brahma says, yeah, it is impossible to understand the greatness of the Lord Vishnu without his mercy. So, because if you see in the previous chapter, Brahmaji says how hmm, um, his words will never be false and his mind will never fall down or illusioned, because he is always worshipping Lord Krishna's lotus feet in his heart. So, and he himself says, and after saying that statement, he says that, but it is impossible to know the glories of the Lord to the full extent. But no, just like different birds have different ability to fly at different heights in the sky. No, the sky is unlimited. Means the height of the sky is unlimited. There is no limit to the sky. So these the house flies, they can fly only few meters above the ground level. But when it comes to small sparrows, they can fly tens of meters above the ground level, or like maybe around 100 meters above the ground level. Little higher birds like pigeons or no ducks, they can fly little higher, no, like maybe like 300 or 400 meters above the ground level. And no, very expert bird, no, the birds like Garuda or no, eagles, they can fly at thousands of meters above the ground level. But the sky is unlimited. mm. You can only fly whatever the ability that you can have with but the you cannot define, because you cannot limit the sky with, because we don't have the ability. That's why any person can only realize the greatness of the Lord by the mercy of the Lord only. There is no limit to the glories of the Lord. There is no, like if you say neophyte devotee has his own conception. Okay, I have heard enough. I know everything about the Lord. But when he learns to know from Madhyama devotee, he knows that, oh, there are many more pastimes of the Lord which I don't know. There are many more perspectives of the Lord, seeing the same pastimes in a different perspective. huh? And Krishna, actually it is said the Krishna can accomplish many things through his simple one pastime. Mm. And it is said that even the greatest of the great personalities like Ananta Shesha, with thousands and millions of mouths, he continuously starts glorifying the different pastimes of the Lord. And he was not even able to reach the end of the his pastimes, even though he was glorifying from time immemorial. So that's why Brahmaji says even Ananta Shesha could not reach the limit of the Lord's glories. And then, and but who can know? Who can know about the glories of the Lord? Like only the surrendered souls can know the Lord by His mercy. Mm. So, so an unpretentiously surrendered soul receives the Lord's unlimited mercy, by which one can cross this insurmountable ocean of Maya and understand the Lord. But those who are attached to the body, which is meant for eaten by dogs and jackals, cannot understand. Okay. So, what is the prerequisite for knowing about the Lord is, when one is surrendered, then only one will be able to know the glories of the Lord. No, but if one wants to know by his personal endeavor, it is very impossible. Now, even when Brahmaji appears in this material world, he tries to know what is the origin of my creation, what is the purpose of my creation, who created me like that, and he wanted to know. Then He actually looked around. There is entire darkness, and he noticed that he was sitting on a lotus flower. So he tried to go into the stem of the lotus flower and find out. And he reached even the navel of the Lord Vishnu, but he was not able to recognize what it is and where he is. So that is the position of all the living entities with respect to the Lord's power. So, and later on, when Lord says to Brahmaji, you do tapasya, he says tapa, tapa, and 2 times, and taking those words seriously, Brahmaji does serious tapasya for millions and thousands of years. So, after doing that, then Lord reveals the knowledge in his heart. That's how Brahmaji knows about the Lord so much. So that's Brahmaji is saying only when we surrender to the Lord means, see, in that past time Brahmaji has surrendered. No, Brahmaji did whatever the Lord wants him to do. Mm, and he is taking humbler position and saying even lower persons can know the Lord by devotee's mercy. So not only by Lord's mercy, but Lord can be known by the mercy of the devotees. Now we all know, right, how we are all so contaminated, or no, we don't have any hope of receiving Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita in this material other side of the world. But by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and by the mercy of Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, we are able to get the pure authentic knowledge and pure philosophy of bhakti without any adulteration. So it is only by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of the Lord, mercy of the devotees. Mm. It is said mercy of the devotees is more powerful than mercy of the Lord. It is said that when Lord gives a word, he may or he may not fulfill. Mm. Because based on some time and time, place, and circumstances, Lord is not very much attached to his word. Lord is he says in Bhagavad Gita, that's why to Arjuna, you declare that my devotee never fall, because he makes Arjuna to declare, because when Lord gives a promise, it is up to Lord. He is Swarat. He is fully independent. Nobody can question Lord why you are not holding up your promise. But when the devotee of the Lord gives the promise, then it becomes Lord's responsibility to see that the promise is fulfilled. So that's why Krishna asked Arjuna to declare that his devotee will never perish. So that's why the devotee's mercy is more important than anything in this material world. So after explaining all those things, then Brahmaji explains the description of um, Paramatma, Bhagavan, and establishes how Bhagavan is Paramatma, Brahman, and Bhagavan. So, and then he establishes Bhagavan as the ultimate. So, as we previously discussed, there are three explanations of the Lord. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. So, these three are the major explanations of the Lord: Brahma, Bhagavan, and uh, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So Lord is reciting in his original form as Bhagavan in his original Dham, Golok Vrindavan, and from there, this his impersonal effulgence, the Brahman effulgence, is coming out, and this Brahman effulgence is maintaining everything, entire spiritual world and material world, and but when these material universes are created, Lord personally expands himself as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Kshirodaksha Vishnu, and then he enters into each and every universe. And again, when a living entity is taken birth, when a living entity has to take a material form, Lord himself expands as Paramatma and stays along with this living entity. Just like when you love somebody, when you love your child, you always want to keep an eye on your child for its safety, mm, so that the child won't get lost. mm. It is only due to out of love. But uh, the same way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though the jivas are rebellious and they came into this material world uh, mm, by rebelling against the Lord, but out of love for them, Lord is hidden in their heart, hidden in the heart of every living entity, and taking care of their pollen and potion. And then that is the Paramatma aspect of the Lord. So Lord also expands in these three features. There are three main features of the absolute truth with respect to maintenance of this entire creation: Bhagavan, Brahman, and Paramatma. So among these, uh, Paramatma expansion of the Lord is localized, means when as long as the living entity in this material world, the Lord will be in the form of Paramatma, will be hiding in the heart. But mm, the like no, it is said that the object of meditation of the yogis is Paramatma, and object of meditation of the jnanis is Brahman, and object of meditation of bhaktas are is Bhagavan. It is said that whatever the results that yogis, jnanis, or karmis get through their activities, karmis they actually tries to get activity material benefit through action, and yogis try to get yogic realization through their yoga, and jnanis they try to approach the Lord through jnana. Through the ultimate thing that they can reach is impersonal aspect of the Lord, that is Brahman realization. So, but Lord being the Bhagavan means Bhagavan possesses all the qualities. Mm. So, why Bhagavan feature is the highest? Because Bhagavan, like if somebody is giving you the $1,000, means they are already giving you $500. They are already giving you $100. Mm. So these $100 and the $500 are included in $1,000. So in the same way, this Bhagavan feature of the Lord gives all the benefits of Brahman and Paramatma realization, and also give much more than that. So the any in the Brahman aspect, like if you see some religions are there, like Islam and something like religions like that, they only worship the Nirakar. They say Allah doesn't have a form. Now that is the Brahman aspect of the Lord. So they worship that Brahman aspect, and they don't see much leelas. They may experience some reciprocations from the Lord in their life, but they don't actually cannot see the different leelas and different avatars, different uh, qualities and pastimes of the Lord. That is their unfortunate situation. So that kind of people are so envious of the Lord, and Lord hides his personal forms from them, and he only says, "Okay, I'm impersonal. You just enjoy. You do whatever you want there, and you stay there like that." So, and yogis, they can only approach up to personal form of the Lord. But if you are Bhagavan, then Lord gives everything. When you get the realization of Bhagavan realization, you will also get the benefits of Brahman realization and Paramatma realization. Now it is said that how you can say this the devotees who gets the Brahman realization, the Bhagavan realization are higher, because now if somebody comes to your home, some visitor comes to our home, we don't take him into the confidential places like our bedroom, or our show our uh, what do you call the safe lockers and everything. Why? Because we will only limit them. Okay, if some very strange person comes, we will only tell them you can wait outside the door. If some distant relative comes, we will make him sit in the living room and serve him nicely, and sends them off from there only. But our close relative, like our mother, or like if a husband or wife is there, they have access to every room and every nook and corner of the house, means they have full access to the uh, whatever belongs to us. The same way, the the devotees on the level of Brahman, they only access, they can only have this impersonal aspect, means they are only limited to the gate. They can only come to the gate and beg whatever they want, and then leave from the gate like that. Mm. But some Paramatma realization, okay, they are not non-envious, and then Lord allows to come into the gate. Mm. and deal with them in a formal way. But the devotees are very dear to the Lord. The Lord gives full access to his devotees. All the things that he belongs to him have he shares with these devotees. That's how in Krishna Lila that these gopis, they play with the Lord, they nourish the Lord, they parent the Lord. So that all pastimes happen because of this. Bhagavan aspect is very merciful, and it gives all the benedictions, all the benefits of other relations of the Lord. So there is and Bhagavan is the ultimate benefactor who bestows the results of all the process, all other process. Even if body is finished, before perfection, the results will be carried over. mm. So, like somebody who is who we as we discussed, right? Who approaches the Bhagavan feature of the Lord, who is a devotee of the Lord. So that's why that Krishna says. Uh, Anybody who is a devotee, if he perfects his life, to some extent in this lifetime, but he is not able to achieve the full perfection, but he will be given a chance in his next life so that he can continue from there. Mm. So so that by the time, like, where he can, in his next life, he will give second chance. He will be given unlimited number of chances until he gets perfection. So as we become a devotee means we are already in the path of getting out of this material existence and going back to Godhead. So that's why Krishna uh, uh, asks Arjuna, you declare boldly that my devotee will never perish. Hmm. So seemingly some difficulties might come in the life of a devotee, but those are temporary, and they are very insignificant when compared to what devotee is going to achieve in his life. So after saying that, Brahmaji says, so I have described you about these different pastimes of the Lord, or different incarnation of the Lord. Okay, and and this anybody who hears uh, these narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam, it will they will bhakti will start. It will give rise to bhakti in their heart. Mm. So the various incarnations of the Lord are spiritual and blissful. Mm. But Purusha incarnations, that deals with creation aspect, they are dealing with Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti means the material energy. Mm. So one may say, okay, when we are discussing the pastimes of the Lord, if we discuss the intimate internal pastime, that is better rather than discussing about this creation, Garbhodaka, metal creation, different planetary systems like that. So but Brahmaji is stressing that point. Okay, you don't have to worry about it, even though they seem to be related to material nature, even though they are related to the external energy of the Lord. But when they are described in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are still purifying, and they whoever discusses these pastimes in relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead will not be bewildered by the Maya. So then he says that, and then he um, Brahmaji actually asks Narada Muni, okay, you preach these glorious pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam, or glorious pastimes about the Lord and his different incarnation, expansions, uh, to everybody, so that they can get benefited, they can be, and get ultimately they can go back to Godhead. And by that, Brahmaji ends his conversation. Okay, that is the end of this chapter. Now, if you have any questions or comments, we can discuss now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What kind of persons will get the Paramatma Prabhuji? That part I didn't get it, because devotees they will get that Bhagavan feature, and impersonalists they will go to the Brahman. So that
Yogis,
Paramatma,
yogis, yogis,
oh
ma'am.
yogis. Okay, okay,
Yogis, they meditate on Paramatma. They don't get
okay.
Paramatma, they actually they get the darshan of Paramatma. Lord reciprocates as a Paramatma for them because they are non-envious. Now, as I said, he
Mm-hmm.
will give some relations to them, but The intimate realizations are only to the devotees, because this yogis, they also have this no, I am the doer mentality. No, I, because I am doing these great penances and this great yoga, that's why I'm getting all these yogic quotes, all these realizations. So that's why, unless one is fully surrendered to the Lord, Lord will not reciprocate. No, like the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, "E yamamam prapattinte stam satayo bhajamiham." Means, as you surrendered, I reciprocate. If you give 50% to the Lord, Lord will give only 50% to you. Lord give Himself only 50%. But if you fully surrender to the Lord, if you give 100%, then Lord will give Himself 100%. So these yogis can only have this impersonal, like the internal Paramatma relation, but not the Bhagavan relation.
Oh, okay, Prabhuji.
Any more questions?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in the previous chapter, in the 6th chapter, in the text 13 to 16, it explained that although he is transcendental to all of them, externally existing is in a form not exceeding 9 inches. Why he won't be exceeding 9 inches? Or
that this is the Paramatma feature of the Lord, Mataji. Can you repeat that statement again? Which verse is that?
13 to 16, Prabhu. The translation of
So
13 to 16.
okay, 13 to 16 it says, I, Brahma, Shiva, and all other living entities, who whatever existed in the past, present, and future is covered by the universal form of the Lord. Although Lord is transcendental to all of them, he extends beyond the universe by 10 fingers. So in Purusha Sukta prayers, you know, right? Attatishta Dashangulam means Lord is all pervading in entire universe, and he is not limited by this universe. He extends by this universe by 10 fingers. That is the meaning. Means it doesn't mean to say 10 fingers means Lord only extends only 10 fingers. It says Lord extends beyond this universe. This universe cannot limit the Lord. So that's why they say it like this: Lord is not bound by this universe. Lord exists within in each and every particle of the universe, and also Lord exists in this universe, and Lord also exists beyond this universe. Unlike Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, they cannot exist beyond this universe. But there are different ways you can to see. Um, uh, Lord Shiva also has expansion in spiritual as Shambhu, like that. So you understood, right? What I said. Lord is not bound by this material universe, so he is beyond this material universe. That's what they are saying. That uh, Lord extends beyond the universe by 10 fingers, like that.
That
So
is,
yeah.
here it's not mentioning 10 fingers, Prabhuji. Here they're mentioning about 9 inches.
9 inches, yeah, 9 inches, yeah, 9 inches or 10 fingers, like same
Okay.
other.
Okay.
In Brahma Sukta prayers, it is said that the Shangulam are like 10 fingers or 10 inches.
Yeah. Actually, Prabhuji, in first canto somewhere, actually they mentioned Paramatma feature is 3 inches and the 4-handed form like that.
9 inches,
Whatever
they
it,
say 9 inches or 3 inches. I don't know. Like maybe, yeah.
yeah, that's why we confused, Prabhuji.
That is a Paramatma feature of the Lord Mataji. That is not the this the universal form that is mentioned in this chapter in 13 to 16.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Paramatma feature, Paramatma lives within the heart of every living entity. I don't know. I don't remember exactly the measurement. Some say 9 inches, some say 3 inches. Some say in the size of the thumb.
Okay.
So like that. So, but Paramatma feature is like Shankha Chakra, the Gada, Padma. He will be holding, and he will be situated in the region of the heart. And some neophyte person, they say, okay, If the Lord is in the heart, then if heart transplantation happens, then Lord will go from the heart. Lord should be going from the heart. No, but it's not like that. Lord is in the form of spirit soul. Lord is spiritual. So he is the soul of the soul. So he stays within the heart of living entity. And soul resides in the region of the heart. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, we confused with the Parikshit Maharaj says, right? Prabhuji, he saw 3 inches form with 4-handed form when he is in the Uttara's womb. So,
any more questions?
And I did not remember which sloka, Prabhuji. In one of the slokas, they said Paramatma realization is the highest realization.
No.
That is not right, right? That's what
No, not like that, Mataji. It's on the text 7, Prabhuji.
Which chapter, Mataji?
Same 6th chapter only.
6th chapter.
2. Yeah. Text 7.
Which verse? 7th verse.
7th verse. In the purport, in the last 2 lines, Prabhuji, even all pervading super soul is also dependent on the supreme aspect of Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. That we didn't get it, but maybe today you told about the Paramatma feature and Bhagavan, right? Maybe those two I thought right now. I don't know, Prabhuji.
6th chapter, which verse you said, Mataji?
7th. Yeah.
So let me see. When you read something like that, you have to read through the entire mantra. You should not take the statement from just like that. So, like, no, this is, it says, for absolute protection of all sorts of fears, as well as for our needs of the life, we must take shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Not only in this planet, but also in the upper planet or lower planet, heavenly planetary systems. This absolute dependence on the lotus feet of the Lord is called the pure devotion service, and it is directly hinted in within this passage. No one should have any kind of doubt in this matter, nor should one be inclined to seek the help of any other demigod, because all of them are dependent on him only. Everyone except the Lord himself is dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Even all pervading super soul is also dependent on the supreme aspect Bhagavan. Bhagavan, right? Na? The personality of Godhead.
Yes. Sorry, my question is they says super soul is also Bhagavan only, right, Prabhuji? But why
Yes,
he is depending on Bhagavan again?
No, super soul is not Bhagavan. Super soul is expansion of Bhagavan. See, Mataji, if sun is there in the sky, and there are a lot of ponds, lakes, and some mirrors on this earthly planet, you can see the image of the sun in each and every of the every object. But you can't say sun is present in this object, right? So in the same way, Lord is present in the spiritual world, in his Bhagavan aspect, but his expansions can be seen. There, in the case of the sun, there is a great deal of difference between the sun and the image of the sun. But in the case of the Lord, because Lord is absolute in nature, Lord present in in his abode, and Lord present this plenary expansion, which is in the heart of every living entity, are same. Means how they are same. If Paramatma gives a word, okay, you do this thing, means it is the instruction directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. It should be taken like that. So that's why if Brahmaji is the devotee of the Lord, he is the expansion of the Lord. So some Brahmaji gives one benediction to the Hiranyakashipu, and Lord actually has to incarnate as Narsingadev to kill Hiranyakashipu, so that Brahmaji words doesn't go false. Means he is actually takes care of everything, but Lord is completely independent. So every aspect depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like this image of the sun depends on the direct sun in the sky, right? So the Paramatma expansion of the Lord is directly related to the Bhagavan feature of the Lord. You are convinced, or you still doubtful?
No, Prabhuji, you are convinced. That day we thought about it, but just still this dint of small doubt is there.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, that's it. Any more questions?
That's it, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
His Grace Bhagavatarcha Prabhu ki jai.